So my name is Kevin Muico. I'm 27 years old. I'm a full-time pastoral worker, better known as a lay Catholic missionary for this global group called Couples for Christ. And so we work with family renewal all over the world. I actually took up chemical engineering. It was one thing that I wanted to do, and I actually got a job for Procter and Gamble. I got the job when I was 23. It was my first job, and it really paid well. All the benefits were there. But what led me to being a missionary is actually really weird, and I realized that I would go home empty. I felt that it wasn't enough. One time it was raining and I was listening to my iPod at that time. A song by Switchfoot comes and it plays like, "Is this your life? Are you who you want to be?" And I started bawling, I started crying and crying and crying, which led me basically to move to Calgary to be with my family. And that began my soul searching, basically trying to find what my purpose in life is. So that I think the biggest thing was we had a youth conference in Winnipeg. It's called Almighty, and what happened there was that there's like 500 youth from all over Canada, and I felt God speak to me in a very clear manner, not in like a vocal, but like everything just made sense. That my life, what I went through, all the ups and downs, all the good things I've done, all the sins I've done, everything basically was pointed in that direction too. And it was such a turning point in my life. There were 12 of us who journeyed at that time, and eventually there was 3 of us who actually answered the call. But the biggest thing for me was that my family needed to say yes. And so what happened was that we went for a family vacation in Vancouver, and we were supposed to catch mass somewhere, and we ended up at the cathedral, which is the Holy Rosary Cathedral. Archbishop Miller was celebrating the mass, and his homily was so perfect at that moment. And what he said, it was this: parents are not proprietors, but they're stewards of their children. And at that moment, my mom and my sister looked at me. We were all crying, and my mom wrote a letter. Said that, God is calling you to this, and I see that, and I'm not going to stop you from doing that. So I've been a full-time pastoral worker now for more than 2.5 years. I'm going to my 3rd year actually in May. But there are like 2 things I've learned. First thing, how I've grown spiritually in my personal relationship with God. I can say that I'm more Catholic now than ever before. Second thing, I've journeyed with a lot of brothers and sisters here in Toronto, and I've met friends who I will willingly journey with for the rest of my life.